Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Saturday, September 28th, and we are trying to help you make better or maybe less bad financial decisions. Now, we do that by making you do a little bit of work, just a little bit. You are going to go to our website, which is jillonmoney.com. And before you start diving into all the great content that lives there, you're going to click on the Contact Us button. You're going to write us a note. You're also going to let us know if you'd like to join us on the air live, just by checking a box. Then get to the content. Then maybe go to the resources section. Then maybe you want to go subscribe to Jill on Money Live. That is the service where you have access to quarterly live webinars for 12 months. You can watch the back catalog of webinars. You can check out the bonus video content, all for $35 for an entire year. We just had our great real estate webinar, and you'll be able to watch that if you pony up the $35. It's not that much money. All right, let's get going. We're talking to Matthew, who's on the line from Pennsylvania.
Hey, I just got a couple questions for you about my wife and I, kind of what our background is. And we think we've done a pretty good job saving up over this whole time. We're not really part of the FIRE movement. We didn't even really know what that was. But, kind of as time goes along, we think we were doing that. Not that we look to retire or anything like that. But now that we've amassed some amount of wealth, just kind of wondering about maybe a little bit about financial anxiety. And just kind of questioning, when is it okay to throttle back on the savings rate and anything else we should be doing?
Okay, the fact that you're like, we're great savers, but I have financial anxiety. Tell me more. So first of all, how old are you, Matthew?
I'm 46.
Okay, and wife?
She's 50.
And you guys both work?
Yes.
How much do you earn together?
Probably $500 a year.
Wow, that's great. Fantastic. Do you have some kids?
Yeah, we have 3 kids.
How old?
Between the ages of 10 and 17.
Are you both maxing out your retirement accounts?
Yes, we both do that. And right, wrong, or indifferent, we both do the Roth in the 401ks. And I even have the opportunity to do the quote unquote mega backdoor Roth within my 401k. And then outside of that, we do the, I guess you'd call the traditional to backdoor Roth on the, on the brokerage side.
Great.
So we kind of throttle that all in there. And
you're saving a ton of money. That's great.
We try our best.
How much money is in, let's just do the retirement accounts in general. About how much money have you accumulated?
Maybe 3.3 as of a month ago or so.
Wow. Awesome. Okay. That's fantastic. How about non-retirement accounts? What you got?
Sure. Brokerage accounts, probably 900,000.
Okay. Are you guys using individual stocks, mutual funds, index funds? What's the mix generally?
Yeah. I think on the brokerage side, I learned a little bit over time, but we basically do ETFs like VTI or something like that. Probably have some mutual funds in there now. Probably just trying to figure out how to actually sell those, maybe convert over just because we end up paying taxes on those at a pretty high rate right now. But for now, I guess we have mutual funds, and I'd say maybe half of it's mutual funds and half of it's in an ETF. Okay,
great. The kids, have you saved money for college?
Yeah, it's probably a big life goal for us. So maybe we run the risk of oversaving, but we probably have across the 3 of them, maybe 700 to 750,000. Our hopes would be they'd go to professional schools or something like that. So
hold on a second. Hold on. Where is the 750 held? In 529s or all over the place? Or
529. Yeah, 529s.
Stop putting money in there, dude.
Okay.
Jesus. I mean, do you want to go back to school? Because I think you're going to have actually. So you're presuming, I guess what you're presuming is you've got 3 kids. You want private university, right?
Correct.
Because you're a snob. Okay. No, totally. Penn State's not good enough for you. I get it. And you're counting on 3 private university educations as well as 3 graduate schools? Is that kind of where you're going in your head?
Yeah, that's right. So we're probably in that mode. And probably what we'll do is we'll probably throttle back once our oldest tips his toes into the college scene and we figure out what that is. And then we'll adjust or stop or whatever the case may be.
I think, can't you stop now? I feel like that you don't need to put more money in there.
It's something we can look at, yeah, if you think
I mean, Mark, do you think that we need to keep putting money? He's got $750,000 in 529 plans, and the kids are 10 to 17.
If he wants 3 private educations and grad school, I actually do think he needs to keep contributing.
Really?
Yeah, my frame of reference there is, I think I exited university with $100,000 in loans, and I think my brother, sisters, et cetera, exited the universities and professional schools with $400,000 of loans each. So
All right, all right. So how much longer? What does he have to get to, Mark? 1 million? What does he have to get to do 3 privates and 3 grad schools? I guess it depends the grad school, right? Because honestly, you could do medical school, but you might have someone who's like in a 1 year master's program. So that's why I was thinking that maybe 750 would be enough.
I mean, I would think minimum 300 per child.
okay, so
All
that's
right.
kind of a target. Yep.
Okay. So, and how much are you contributing to the 529 on an ongoing basis? Do you put a certain amount in, or do you use bonus money? How do you do it?
Yeah, we just do it every other week kind of thing with the pay.
Okay. In the non-qualified account, I presume that all of that money is probably has a low cost basis. Is that right?
Yes, probably maybe half of it is at maybe 450 is cost basis and 450 is earnings, over all that time.
So it's not really worth it for you to, are you going to actually sell the dividend producing mutual fund?
No, yeah, I would not do that. Was kind of those things, I pick my head up 20 years later and you wonder, oh my, I have an issue here called the government.
Right. So at this point, if you talk about the savings and the throttling back, like, are you living a life? Are you happy? Are you living like paupers? Like, what, you're saving a ton of money. Are you feeling financial anxiety that's self-imposed? That's what I'm trying to get to underneath this.
Yeah, I think it's probably self-imposed to some extent, just from considering our backgrounds and things like that. But, for the most part, we live the life that, we're definitely not on this FIRE movement. That's why I said that earlier on, where folks, really scrimp and save and do all these things. We kind of, if we want something, we go get it. We buy new vehicles. We do, in fact, drive them for 8 or 9 years. If we want to go on a family trip, we do that. We do send them to private schools now. So it's kind of like, how do I want to say it? Raising 3 kids, we couldn't even spend the money necessarily if we wanted to, unless we started to do things that, most people wouldn't recommend, just going and buying fancy cars or fancy boats or something for no particular reason.
Right.
So I would say, I guess we're content, and we're just kind of questioning in that content zone, what's the appropriate time to start thinking about this savings rate a little bit differently? Or do we, I think one of the more difficult questions is, well, we put a lot of money into our Roth because that's something that's Roth 401k, that quote unquote mega backdoor Roth. That's something that's only been opened up to us recently. We feel like that's too good of an opportunity to pass up. So we end up saving a lot because it's a possibility to do so. But maybe if that option wasn't even presented to us, maybe we wouldn't be doing that necessarily.
How much do you pay in private school tuition right now?
I would say $30,000 a year.
And that's for the 3 of them?
Yeah.
You are used to paying $30,000 a year. So there's that also, that you're like, that's part of your cash flow right now. If you look at your actual expected need, meaning like not saving or anything, but what you really think you need to live on to live like a lovely life, not a, you're not living like paupers, like you're living the life you want to live in retirement. What do you think that is? What do you think the monthly nut would be?
Yeah, maybe $10,000 a month. But, at our age, I don't know that we can accurately even forecast that. But we try to look at what we spend today. Mm-hmm. And to some extent, when our kiddos go to college, we would think that to some extent, if that's all funded by their TAP 529s, we'd actually be seeing, a little bit more cash flow because we wouldn't be paying for their high school or middle school education. So we kind of feel like in a year or two, we'd get more cash flow coming up. So I feel like maybe $10,000 a month kind of thing.
Okay. And do either of you have jobs where you would get pensions, or are you just Social Security kind of people?
Ooh, yeah, we would both have a pension, about roughly say $4,000 a month.
$4,000 each?
Correct. Yeah.
So you mean of your $10,000 a month need, you will have $8,000. I'm like incredulous. Stop saving so much money, for God's sakes. You have $8,000 a month in pensions, and that doesn't even include any Social Security benefit, right?
That's right.
Mark, I don't even know what to say. We're going to get hate mail for sure. Okay, I get it. The mega backdoor Roth, it's too good to be true. You're maxing out your retirement. But I almost feel like you could just pull back on retirement right now.
Is that right?
Yeah, because look, is there any money that is in traditional retirement funds?
You mean like a traditional 401k?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Probably $2.5 million of that is in a traditional account.
I get that you love your saving. You're doing a great job. you don't have to save as much as you're saving. Your
Okay.
retirement need is essentially met. You might have to spend a few bucks because you might say, I mean, I don't know when you're going to retire. You got kids, and the youngest one is not going to really be done for another 10 years. Do you plan on working for 10 years? Like, what's your game plan right now?
Yeah, our game plan isn't to necessarily to stop working. I mean, we enjoy it and all that, but maybe in 10 years, pick up our heads and decide maybe quote unquote retire early at that point.
Yeah. I mean, and then guess what? At that time, you get these pensions, and then you have a few years where you spend down some of your non-qualified money to live and, have some fun. And then when Social Security kicks in, you're essentially done. And you'll have, multiple mid-millions. You probably are going to end up having 3, 4, you're going to have $10 million when you retire. It's going to be like kind of not a big deal to get that much money. And doesn't that sound crazy? But you're there. Like, you got 4.5 now, and that's all going to happen. I think that you can stop putting as much money into retirement right now. And then if you want to juice up your 529 plans, but I mean, really don't go crazy with that either, because you have cash flow. You can pay for some of this, and you should be feeling proud of yourselves, not anxious about where you are. It's like you're so good at this, you have to get out of the cycle. This reminds me of when I was doing Weight Watchers when I was in college. So I was a college athlete, and I stopped playing. I got injured, and then I gained a ton of weight, and I went to Weight Watchers. All right. And I couldn't stop dieting once I lost all the weight, because I was so fearful. Like, oh, what if I gain it back? So I was a very good dieter, but I couldn't figure out how to maintain a weight that was normal. And so I lost so much weight. It looked terrible. I looked awful. Okay. But that's kind of where you are. You've done the extreme saving, but you don't know how to pull back a little bit. Here's your permission. You can pull back. You can skip the backdoor Roth. You can put more money in the non-qualified account, in the non-retirement account, and add some ETFs. You can build that up. How much is your house worth, by the way?
I'd say just under 300.
And do you have a mortgage outstanding?
No.
You had to ask that question?
I know. I had to, but I'm just laughing at myself that I did. You are in such good financial shape. I like the idea that the subject line of your email was financial anxiety. And it was funny. Then you wrote message help. Not really, but somewhat. So, I mean, but I get what you're saying. It's hard to kind of stop yourself from doing this thing called saving, and you're doing it, and you're good at it, and like you said, you're living a life that you'd like to live. All that is good, but you now need to just breathe a little bit and appreciate all the hard work that you've done, and let yourselves just relax into this. Really, because there's no reason that I can see that you need to be going crazy here. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. Take nicer vacation. You don't have to get a fancy car, because I think that's dumb also. What's the thing that you're not doing that you wish you could be doing?
I think maybe the only thing that I can't quite figure out, maybe in a couple of years, we'll look to do a little bit more traveling, amp that up a little bit. But I think the one thing that I struggle just from planning all this stuff, because it's so much in our DNA, we really struggle finding somebody on the back end of it to really help us with the decumulation and trying to figure out the plans for that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we want to, in retirement, buy another home or something like that. What's the best approach to kind of extract that money? And since we can't really see how that part works, tax implications and other things like that, that's maybe partly why we're kind of stuck trying to figure this out, when we can throttle back a little bit, because part of our goal would be to take a good chunk of the money once we do hit retirement, and spend quite a bit of it kind of right out of the gate with a second home or something like that.
Well, I mean, look, even if that were the case, and we can get you there, and if you want, you can hire a fee-only financial planner who will just do a plan for you. You don't want anyone who's going to be a money manager right this second. You just don't, because they're going to grab onto your money. Right. They're going to be like, I want to manage it, and you're going to pay a lot of fees. But there's plenty of people who will do a standalone financial plan for you, for sure. And just do that plan and build that plan for you. You know what, Mark, let's send Matthew the contact information for our CFP friend in New Jersey. She does just straight up planning. She'll charge you real money. Like it'll be $5 or $10,000 to do a plan, but you tell her, this is what I want. I want to spend $10,000 so you can give me peace of mind. Like, wouldn't you pay someone $10,000 to reduce that financial anxiety? Like, you're just talking to me and I'm telling you this, but she'll prove it to you.
Sure.
And you can say to her, I want you to build in the fact that we're going to buy, I'm going to make it up, a $500,000 house in the mountains. And that's what we want. And like you build it out. And the decumulation is kind of an interesting question. It's very difficult, by the way. It's actually the hardest thing for most people to adjust to beyond like just I have too much time on my hands. But in terms of retirement, you're very good at accumulating. It's hard to take money out. And for you guys, all that would mean is to try to sort of show you that you don't even have to take that much out because this pension is going to be enough. So if I said to you, well, you know what, I could sort of like stand on my head and spin a plate on my foot and show you how to get $5,000 a month out of your accounts and not worry. You couldn't screw it up enough to blow up your plan. You cannot. Okay. This is kind of like, the $7 million man with 8 kids or the $8 million man with 7 kids. I can't remember what it was. It's like, you know that you're in good shape, but you're kind of like, now what? Now what's like, how do I stop that? Right. Yeah. Exactly. And you and your wife are doing an awesome job. Do you guys have wills? You've got to have wills.
Yeah, we have that stuff set up. So we should be all A-okay there.
I think you're great. You definitely are going to get us some hate mail, but whatever, dude. Like, you got your questions, I'm going to answer. I think you're in fantastic shape. You don't have to have all that money to come on the air with us and talk through your plans. You really don't. If you would like to join us to talk through anything going on in your life, in your financial life, just go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and let us know if you'd like to join us on the air live. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Please, if you wouldn't mind, leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. Don't forget to do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.